What's up, beautiful people?
Hi.
Today's podcast is going to look a little different, namely because there are only a couple of words in the world that are more frustrating than supply chain shortages, and that's technical difficulties. So the program that we use to capture all the video glitched or something. We're not really sure. We have the audio somehow, but we don't have any video. So our editor kind of got creative with what this is going to look like. We think it's still a really enjoyable interview we've got going on. It's pretty awesome, these two.
And look, we do have the video for the couple that we interviewed, so we'll be able to see their reactions and all of that. It's really a fun interview, we really hope you guys enjoy.
What's up, beautiful people?
Hey, guys.
Welcome back to the podcast. We took a little bit of a week off last week because life's been hectic. We went on the road for 2 months straight, and then we had to move into a new place, and we brought we had birthday parties, we had back to school, we had all kinds of stuff. It's just been a wild few weeks. So we took the week off last week, but it's so worth it because we have a couple of amazing guests on the podcast today. This is our first digital guests. So we're really, really excited to have them. And they've been really busy themselves, actually.
Yeah, they know how it is.
They had a really cool fundraiser that they just did over on YouTube. They're pretty massive YouTubers, if you want to call that. I would say massive is probably the correct word.
They're very experienced.
We could do a Google Trends word search to see what the better word would be there, but I think massive would probably be accurate for that. About 7 million subscribers on YouTube. They've been doing this since they were little kids, and then one of them, Bailey, that just gave it away. Bailey just got married this time last year. Most beautiful wedding. We got to go to the wedding, and it was super fun. I've never worn white, but I wore white for the wedding. It was awesome. And married the coolest guy named Asa. So we got Bailey and Asa on the podcast today. I don't know if that was a good intro or not, guys, but hopefully it adequately. So we had you guys on because we wanted to talk through the newlywed thing a little bit, because we've been married for 19 plus years.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to remember all that, but we talk a lot about family. We talk a lot about, just what that's like. And so you guys are right at the front end of that. You've been together for now 6 years.
Yeah,
looks like.
Absolutely.
So getting married after 5 years, we dated for 2 years. So what a crazy ride. Talk about what this first year of marriage has been like for you. What have been your biggest things you've learned, biggest things you expected, but maybe haven't been quite what you thought they were going to be,
We have had a lot of fun because we dated for such a long time leading up to marriage. I mean, we were really young. We were 17 when we started dating. But we went through all the stages. So we did long distance for 2.5 years. We did 2.5 years of college together. Yeah. We did all of the things. Yeah. And so I feel like we really did get to see each other. What everyone always says is see each other in all the seasons and through all the phases of life. And we really did get lucky in kind of growing up together. Yeah. So we got to see each other just naturally like that. Yeah. So I would say there were zero surprises going into marriage.
No, totally.
Absolutely
It was the most natural transition. Everything felt easy, and we'd already worked through things. We've already talked about things, and it gave us the opportunity to really experience life together, like she said, before we even were married. So
but getting married and just sharing a space and getting more that day on day 24-hour exposure to each other rather than just hanging out all the time and then going to our different spaces. That was definitely a learning lesson. For instance, men are so hot when they sleep. I mean, at least he is. It's like a freaking furnace.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying
never knew that.
I thought you were saying I looked hot.
It's both. It's both. Yeah, both literally and.
But that's just things like that, just really random stuff that we discovered. But for the most part, personality-wise, at least, we really knew each other before we even got married, despite being really young. So I don't feel like there were a lot of shocks or surprises.
No, there were definitely no surprises. Really, what we've enjoyed the most about married life is just doing the little things, cooking together, waking up together, getting to watch Netflix before bed, all of those things that you kind of overlook whenever you're dating, because dating is all about going out and doing things and kind of making those steps. But what we really appreciated about married life is getting those little individual things to do together.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's so
awesome.
fun. So you dated for 5 years. I'd love to hear, if you've dated that long, is the proposal like, you said there's no surprises with the marriage. Were you able to make the proposal a surprise? Like, talk about how did you propose? What was that story like? Because if it's anything like the wedding, guys,
It was amazing.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like most beautiful wedding maybe ever in all of time. And so I can only imagine how the proposal went.
Yeah, that was okay. So a lot of people debate whether or not it was a surprise because I was all dolled up in a white dress. So they're like, there's absolutely no way you were shocked. Which the truth of the matter is, I was completely shocked. And we had obviously had conversations before that about marriage.
She knew it was coming. She knew it was, within a certain time frame. And I kind of used that like half knowledge as a way to kind of lie about when the ring was in. So I could say, oh, well, the ring just hasn't come in yet.
Yeah.
It just hasn't come in.
Yeah.
And so she at least knew to start getting ready, start getting her nails done, start being mentally prepared.
Yeah.
And
he kind of gave me like a 6-month window and was
Which
like,
honestly-
get your nails done.
That's a
starting
long
here.
window.
Yeah, anytime between here it can happen, but
I think that's a good strategy too, because
Yeah.
it takes the pressure off of me to go get your nails done this weekend
Yeah.
or find a way to do that because it's
Yeah.
already happening.
Right.
So
Just
it
keep
makes
them
that
done all the
a little
time.
bit less suspicious.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was like I wanted it to be a surprise, at least like the how and the when, and
Yeah.
so that was helpful for me because then I was able to just get my nails done every couple of weeks and like feel prepared at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
But I didn't know when or how, and so he actually surprised me. Easter weekend, we went to his, family's house in Louisiana, and they told me the whole family was in on it. They all told me that they were
You should have seen the
this.
group chat that I had with like all 50 family members.
Oh
It has
my
detailed
gosh.
line items of what to say, what to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
How they were gonna dress at this dinner tonight.
Yeah, he basically told them to tell me there was this really fancy family dinner that everyone was
Wow.
wearing white too.
Okay.
And so I was all dressed up in white because that's very normal for his family. They do stuff like that all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think twice about it, especially on a holiday weekend. And so I just got dressed, all dolled up, and then literally walked myself to the proposal site and like
That's
didn't catch on until I saw the
amazing.
flowers and the setup and was like, oh my gosh. But then his family was there, my family was there, and it was super fun. So
It was super awesome.
I was
That's
shocked in
incredible.
that sense, like just shocked as the how and the when, and like
Yeah.
I got lucky that I was all dressed up. Like that was really smart planning.
That's
Yeah.
so
It was
fun.
nice
Brilliant.
because I didn't have to pressure her
Yeah.
to wear a certain thing. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know. What did everyone else tell you to wear?
Yeah. Exactly. That's awesome.
That
That's
is so
brilliant.
cool, man. I love that.
That's amazing.
So this question's for you, Bailey. You grew up pretty much in the spotlight. I didn't realize that you also, Asa, had been part of that. That's a fun thing. So one of the questions we had was like, what was that like kind of adjusting to, but you're already familiar with that. So that's not even a real question.
Yeah.
But Bailey, you've got like, you kind of started really, really young and then kind of grew up in this thing because, if you're unfamiliar with Bailey and Brooklyn, her twin sister, they're part of a family, the McKnight family. They have a channel called Cute Girls Hairstyles, and they have a heritage product line and all kinds of stuff that they've just been around as social media influencers for quite a while and have a massive influence and platform. And Bailey, you started that when you were how old were you whenever you guys kind of took off?
Yeah, so I mean, we started on our mom's channel at around 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then we started our own channel when we came, like YouTube has regulations. And so whenever we hit that age, which was 13, we were able to start our own channel. And that's really when things took off for Brooklyn and I. And it just like kind of went from there.
Yeah, it just kept growing.
That's
and
amazing.
we knew, like, we kind of had an idea because we'd been on my mom's channel, but I remember having conversations with my parents where they, like, really sat us down and they were like, is this something that you want? This
Yeah.
is probably what it's going to look like in 10 years.
Right.
What if it turns into this? What if it turns into that? Do you want it to be your name? Do you want to go under an alias? Do you, like, all of these things to make sure we really knew and understood, like, what we were agreeing to? And Brooklyn and I were like, this is definitely something that we want
So cool.
to do and be a part of. And so they were like, okay, and we got to do it. So it was really fun.
You've
I
grown
love
it
that.
to 7 million. Is that right? 7 million.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
unreal.
So we're at like 6.9 something right now, so we're super close.
That's
Yeah.
that's bigger than most countries. Like that's
That's a small country.
it's pretty insane.
The craziest part is like sometimes I'll be driving with my dad and he'll like drive us by the high school football stadium or something, and you think about the number of people
Yeah.
that holds and
Yeah.
then the number of people that are subscribed, and it's just like
Oh, yeah, it's
multiply
crazy.
by that football field by I don't even know what 1,000, and
Unbelievable.
even that wouldn't measure up. And it's just like so crazy to think of the
Yeah.
physical number of people
Yeah.
that have like subscribed. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Unbelievable.
We need to know, like, what state or country has 7 million population. Like, that's
Yeah.
we need to know that number, because that is like
We should
unreal.
we should figure that out.
Yeah.
Let's see. What are the Hey Siri.
That's incredible. I love that your parents were really intentional about that, making sure that you were aware of what you were signing up for,
Yeah.
and that was something that you really wanted. I think that's something on our hearts as parents too, is wanting to be really protective of your kids, because social media is this huge thing,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of benefits and a lot of challenges to that. And so that's something that, you have to navigate every day. And as parents, weighs on our hearts a lot. I think your family has done such an excellent job of doing that well, and of really protecting you kids. And it's just really beautiful to see your whole journey and story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think
Thank you.
Sean is kind of like Yoda. Like if I ever have a question about anything, I call him, because he's just so full of wisdom. And even just watching how, so many influencer families, YouTube families, whatever, like they're kind of a flash in the pan. Like they have a really great, platform for a while, and then it's gone. But the fact that like you started your channel when you were 13, and you're still going, and like just this, we'll talk about this. I'd love to hear more about this, but like you guys just traveled the whole country, 48 of 50 states, to raise money. Like that's amazing. And you're doing this like, almost a decade in, or maybe a decade in since you started, like more than a decade in with your family.
Yeah.
And you're just bigger than ever, and you're still going. And like, not a lot of people can say that about what they're doing. So you're, that's super cool. I'd love to hear more about what you're doing with ending period poverty, and just what that experience was like for you. If you guys want to go, they did it every day, like daily vlogged.
Yeah.
Those are still coming out now on YouTube. But like, what was that experience like? Give us some that behind the scenes kind of juicy
So give
details.
them kind of like 2 weeks before we started.
Yeah,
Kind of what
so-
did that look like?
2 to 3 weeks before we started, it was not an idea at all. We had no plan to do that. And I got inspired watching one of my other friends on YouTube. He did a series sort of like this, where he raised money for Feeding America. And because of his daily vlogs, he raised like $1.4 million
Wow.
for Feeding America.
It is
Unreal.
unreal.
And so I watched that, and I was like, I have time. I create content. We have the ability to do something like this. So why shouldn't we be able to help others? And our channel has always been like female centric, like very,
Open conversations.
about that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was no question in my mind it was going to be about periods. And so we just, we decided to do this crazy journey where we traveled in an RV to 48 states. And while we were doing it, we were daily vlogging. So we have 22 days worth of vlogs on our channel now.
Wow.
And in the process of that, we doubled our goal to raise for period poverty. So we raised $200,000, which is 2 million
Wow.
period products, which is just mind blowing.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, which was crazy.
Oh,
And
wow.
what's gonna happen now
Yeah.
because we hit that goal?
So we told everyone that if we doubled our goal, we'd get a tattoo. So we actually get it tomorrow.
I love
Wow. That's
So
awesome. Together,
fun.
you guys are
Very
both getting one, or
Yeah, so not
Not
me
me.
and him,
Okay. Yeah.
but me and Brooklyn. We're gonna
Okay.
get a matching tattoo.
Okay.
I
So
love that.
we've kind of been down. We've been wondering if we should, and so this was the perfect opportunity
Yeah.
to just like
Just
Do
go
it.
for
that's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
So this is your first tattoo then?
Yeah.
it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
cool.
So
So
cool.
you're not even a year into marriage, and you've already seen the entire nation together. Like, is that like a bucket list checked off the item?
Oh, that is bucket list to the extreme.
Now the next thing you got to do all the countries that are smaller than 7 million people.
Yeah.
We need to see
That's
how
going to
many
take a lot
countries is
longer
that.
than 3 weeks.
Unbelievable, man. That's so cool. Do you feel like that so we moved to Nashville 2 years ago and started building a house a little over a year ago. It's not even anywhere near done. And we decided, thinking that it would be done a lot quicker, that we would move into an RV with all 7 of our kids, which was the dumbest thing.
We're like, this is going to be a fun adventure for us.
So we did that for 9 months and with 9 people, and it was insane. So we have a little bit of an idea, but we were stationary. Like we had the plumbing to our home. We had the septic to our RV. We didn't have to do any of that kind of gross stuff.
Yeah, thank goodness.
So you guys were on the move though,
Oh, yeah.
like talk about that, like as newlyweds, with the rest of your family in the RV too. Like, how'd that go? Like
luckily it was only 3 weeks.
Yeah, definitely not easy. There's absolutely no privacy whatsoever on an RV. Like, I think our door was like a curtain.
Yeah.
I mean, we got lucky. Everyone was very kind, and we got to have like sort of the only formal bedroom there was on the RV, since him and I were one of 4 that were like on the trip the whole entire time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like space wise, I mean, you guys know there's not a lot of it.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
And the first week we had 8 people
Wow.
in our RV, and so it was, I mean, we all knew going into it what we were signing up for, and so we all just went into it like, we're gonna be happy, we're gonna be friendly, we're gonna be nice, we're not gonna fight, and we're just gonna And actually for us it was probably really bonding. I don't feel like we had any like crazy moments or anything for the 2 of us.
No, and like even to go back to your point, like doing the hookups, doing the septic, we had an RV park planned out every single night, and they were super accommodating. We'd get in whenever we'd get in, and we all learned the drill. We learned how to hook up the poop and
empty the poop and all that fun stuff.
We could do it in our sleep by the end
bonding.
of it.
That's all. It's bonding. I like that. Yeah.
That's a great way of putting
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and to say that, within the first year of your marriage, you did such a huge thing as even, beyond the experience of it, like that's super cool. But to raise $200,000, like that's a huge deal. That's basically saying, like, our marriage is going to be others focused. Like we're about serving others. We're about helping others. And like to make that in year 1 of your marriage, like a foundation of your marriage, that cool. Says a lot about who you guys are as people.
Thank you.
And I think it really does create this like beautiful picture to the world that's watching you guys kind of as you are married and still growing up together. We talk about how we were like babies raising babies. We got married when she was 17. So and I was only a couple years.
Birthday.
Yeah. So, like there is something so beautiful about being able to build your life together from the ground up, like from the very beginning. And I love that about you guys. Like it's so cool to watch.
Yeah. Thank you.
So.
Yeah. And we've been kind of public with our relationship since we started dating, and the fans are very excited about us. And so that's kind of always been something that has driven me, is just be an example for other guys that are out there. And what is a young couple supposed to look like, or what kind of ideas for dates, or how to treat your spouse or your partner. Like that's something that I always was very intentional with.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
You guys do a great job.
Yeah. Do you ever feel pressure that comes along with that? Or is it sort of like, this is our life, this is organically what we're doing, like it or not? Like, you know what I mean? Do you ever feel like that external, expectations?
Yeah, there's always going to be that when you're on social media and your life is public. There's without a doubt going to be many opinions, whether they like what you're doing or they don't like what you're doing. That's just, you guys know, that's just how life is. Yeah. We live our life the way we live our life, and we just publicize it. And we're not gonna change like
No.
the way our
What
marriage
you see
is
the reality. Like that's what it is.
I think people really do have a hard time believing that. They think there's like some facade
or a character,
you're not showing everything. But we really both believe in like transparency and we're very open. We have open conversations on our platform. Yeah. And so like everyone sees truly what really happens behind closed doors. And that's kind of the way we like it, like he said, because you can't, only show the positive side and then set that example for people thinking, that's what
that's real life.
A realistic marriage looks like.
Right.
There's sides, to everything, and there's a healthy relationship, and we want to show what that looks like realistically for a young couple.
Totally.
Yeah, that's so powerful.
So with that, you touch on that, like it's not all the happy stuff, right?
Yeah.
We have our things, and this is one of the questions that we'll ask like every guest that comes on, like sometimes the pet peeves are not revealed until you're living with each other. You know what I mean? So like, what would be yours is that like you hate that I have to have a fan every night.
Well, he would have like this massive fan that would blow. Like I would wake up and like my throat would be dry and my nose would be frozen, and I'm like, why does it have to be that crazy?
And she couldn't know that before we got married, but that's been like me from
Yeah.
That's been a big one.
You were one of those guys that like didn't want to put the toilet seat down.
That was true. That was really true.
I learned that early
moved past that. Yeah.
I was never real. It's interesting because I lived. My mom and my sister. My dad moved out when I was younger, and my brother moved out when I was younger, and so it was me and my mom and sister, and they had never asked me to put the toilet seat down, right? So I had this thought like, well, if I got to put it up, you got to put it down,
I was like,
which is like,
no.
Eventually, we came around, and I realized, well, like if my call as a Christian is to like love her and serve her and give myself to her, then what is putting a toilet seat down? Like that's.
Sure.
Like that's nothing, Like so, it was about a year into our marriage, maybe a little less, maybe 9 months, and I finally said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I've been a total jerk about this toilet seat thing." But that was a big pet peeve for you too, is that I would not put the toilet seat down.
Yeah.
And I have not left the toilet seat up since.
Yeah.
And now I have 4 sons that I'm teaching to put the toilet seat down.
You came full circle. That's awesome.
You want to model that for your kids, and we had kids really early on too. So like that's always been kind of on our mind, is like whatever we're doing, our kids are going to be watching, and so
absolutely,
it's been a big part of it.
Yeah. So what are those things for you guys? Like, is there something that you just didn't know about, or maybe you did know about, but it's just like compounded since now you're living together and around each other all the time?
Yeah, I mean,
what about for you?
So we don't, in our current apartment, have very many drawers, at least not in the bedroom, but in the kitchen, or in the bathroom, like he'll open the cabinet, get something out of it, and then just leave the cabinet doors open. And I'm like,
it's kind of this idea that like, I think I'm going to come back and need it again. So I'm just like, well, I'll leave it.
But honestly, like, surprisingly, it's not usually like an arguing point. It's just like, I'll be like, ugh, and then just like close the cabinet. I'm sure maybe
if you're still doing it, just learn to not do it. Yeah, that's funny.
Mine, she just likes to take off her clothes and leave them wherever she is. Especially like the towel. After she showers, she just leave the towel on the floor. I'm like, it's gonna get mildew. Hang it up.
I hear that.
So I'm usually hanging up the towels and stuff, but
that's funny.
Yeah,
that was us early on too, because I would go to the gym and come back really sweaty and gross, and just drop my clothes at the door, so that I didn't track in all the stuff,
Yeah. And then it's like 8 hours later, we're like, there's like sweaty clothes on the floor.
Yeah. Well, her mom would always come by and be like, "What is this?" Like,
yeah, that's not the greatest when you have company. You're like, we should probably clean that up.
That's fun. Well, if those are your 2, good news.
Yeah, sounds like you're doing great.
You're doing all right. I love it. That's so fun. What do you guys expect? Like, what do you have on the horizon? Like anything new, anything exciting, anything that you feel like you've learned in this last year that you would share with people who are either thinking about getting married or maybe are married and just looking for a little encouragement? Anything that you would say to that person?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we've learned like just through our whole relationship, how important communication is. And to go even a little bit further than that, something I really felt was like a big part of our relationship was learning each other's love languages. Because like even though you might feel like you are giving love, that might not be how they receive it. And so it's really important to make sure they're like receiving the love that you want them to feel. And finding out how they might feel that love, and then you can actually, you know, properly communicate and feel loved by each other, which has been like a huge part in our relationship because ours don't align, and so we had to learn each other's love languages.
Yeah, totally.
What are your love languages?
Add to that, well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
What are your love languages?
Mine is quality time and acts of service, and his is
physical touch
and words of affirmation.
That's like every guy's.
So like for me, I didn't grow up like. My whole family's very acts of service. We go out and do stuff for each other. We clean. We do things for each other. We cook. We clean. And his family was all words of affirmation and not acts of service. And so learning to like give words of affirmation and him learning to do acts of service was like a tricky part at the beginning of our relationship. Going into marriage, it was fine because obviously we dated for a long time. But we definitely had to like learn those things for each other.
That's good.
Well, to add to that, I think a lot of people who are wanting to get married or they're dating, maybe they have this hesitation because they're like, oh, your life ends when you get married. We don't even know how many times we've heard that.
We have heard that so many times.
It's all downhill from here.
No, your life begins when you get married. Everything gets better. If you're scared of, you know, oh, you can't do things anymore, yeah, you can. Now you just have a best friend to do it with. And so that's really what we want to encourage. Like, don't be scared of that commitment. Don't be scared of getting married just because you think certain things are going to end. Like, now you just have a permanent best friend that can do those things with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you guys are living proof of that too, because like you still had some school left to do. You know, you still needed to go to all 48 states, and like that's what's so cool to watch. From our perspective, getting to just see you guys and know you is that like it really does feel like you have enhanced each other's lives rather than like, you know, the old ball and chain, it's all downhill from here, you know, all that stupid stuff that people say. I feel bad that people feel that way because it's not really true, you know, and I mean, I think it's just been so cool to watch you guys over this last almost year. Last thing I need to know, if you guys are listening to this, you need to go watch their wedding video on YouTube, but they ended out the reception in maybe the coolest way I've ever seen in my life. And I'll let you guys tell the story of how that happened, because I need to know like whose idea was that, like what in the world. I'll let you. I won't give it away. I'll let you guys. Yeah, did you know about it?
We'll tell you that we did not know.
We had no idea.
Okay.
I had no idea. I thought we were just. I mean, so we had our wedding. For people that maybe haven't seen it, we had our wedding and our ceremony, our reception. And then we got in our decked out car, like every, you do at every wedding. And
I started driving off.
I totally thought that was it. And next thing you know, our wedding
jumps
planner,
in front of the car and like says, stop. I'm like, what's going on?
Our wedding planner like ran after us, was like waving us down, told us, get out of the car, we have one more surprise, and walked us back to the venue. And in the back of helicopter flies in and lands and just like takes us and then takes off to the hotel. But
we were blown away.
Wild. I was just totally shocked. It was already a dream day. And so to like end it in a helicopter ride was so bougie.
So cool.
But it was actually the brainchild for that idea was my mom. She was like, they need this grand escape, like this grand thing. And so she actually coordinated it with the venue to get that helicopter to land. And then they just took us to our hotel.
Took us straight to the hotel.
Like they did a loop around Dallas and then took us to our hotel. So it was like a 30-minute helicopter ride. But
it was super
fun.
cool.
And the Dallas downtown is so cool too, to be able to kind of go.
Oh, it's so cool to see.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Well, kudos to your mom for that. That's got to be the coolest. Because like to go to a wedding like that, you guys were beautiful. Everything about the wedding was beautiful, but you could just tell, like, there was just an excitement. Like, everybody was rooting for you. Everyone was excited to be there. The dances and the reception were so fun. Like, the vote for Besa. Like, that was so fun. And just, we had a total blast. But then for it to end that way, we're just like, dude, whoever planned this wedding, we need their card because we got 7 kids that, we got to, so it was just amazing. And so now.
So I will gladly help plan weddings.
Oh, she was the brain behind all of it.
Nice.
That. Well, the thing about it is so many people kind of look at the wedding date as the finish line. You know what I mean? And you guys have just shown that that's the starting line to something far more beautiful. And I love that about your story and about your marriage and about your friendship and just about all that you're doing together. So we're so glad that you guys joined our podcast today. And we can't wait to see you guys again soon. So, and then you've got a sister, Brooklyn, the twin sister of the crew, is also getting married soon. So do you know, I mean, can we get like a inside scoop? Is there anything really cool happening with that?
They have like a forest vibe. They're getting married in California. Everyone knows that.
That's awesome.
And I think that's all the details I can give.
Okay.
So,
well, that's good enough.
It's really beautiful.
I bet.
Keep your ears, your eyes open.
Love it.
Yep.
So fun.
That's awesome.
We love you guys and so thankful for you. And hopefully we can hang soon in person and it'll be a lot of fun. So if you're ever in Nashville, look us up. And whenever we come to Dallas next, we'll make sure to do the same for you. Yep. So anyway, we love you guys.
Good to see y'all. They are maybe the sweetest couple.
Seriously.
And the cutest couple we've ever met.
You could just tell that they're like genuinely head over heels in love with each other. And it's just so happy and joyful. And it's like contagious, like both of them.
Yeah, totally is.
It's so fun. So I'm really glad we got to have them on here.
Yeah,
hadn't seen them since the wedding.
I know, we've almost connected a couple of times, but the schedules didn't really allow for it.
Yeah,
so.
And their parents like are just freaking rock stars.
They are.
I'm
The
serious
whole
whenever I say
family's
Sean is like Yoda. Like I'm his young Padawan. I call him, and he's just maybe a couple years older than me, but
they've got a lot of experience and wisdom.
Yeah, they really do. So we love their family, and it's awesome to have them on. So make sure we're gonna link all their stuff in the show notes so that you can check out their channel. Maybe we'll link the wedding video, maybe the proposal video, maybe all those different things so you can watch those and just get some good, warm, fuzzy feelings,
inspiration and encouragement.
Yeah. And so we'll do that. And then we'll link their socials on there as well. And then, we haven't done our beautiful people segment today, but this is speaking of really good dads, today's beautiful people segment is about a sweet dad who purposely drives way out of his way every single day, takes a long way to work every day so that at 7:05 every morning he can drive by his daughter's house and honk to say good morning to her. So this woman, Taylor, posted on Instagram, every morning at 7:05, my dad takes a long way to work so he can drive by my house and honk. And our comment section is filled with people sharing similar stories of their parents doing super sweet things too. So we're going to link that down below as well so you can watch that. Again, we just love delivering the warm fuzzies to you guys, so make sure you check that out. But if you haven't subscribed already, I don't know what's stopping you. I don't know what's taking you so daggum long. This is like our 7th episode.
What's taking so long?
What's taking so long?
Don't say that.
She's my conscience. She keeps me from saying that.
I'm like, that's rude. Don't say
That's so rude. People are like, oh, well, it took me so long because I didn't have the ability to subscribe yet. No. There's all kinds of stuff that would take you so long. But if you are able, we would love for you to subscribe, whether you're listening on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or watching on YouTube on the Family Made channel. We would love for you to subscribe and make sure that you, keep up with us here every Friday. We're bringing a new episode to you beautiful people because we love you so much.
Yep.
But we can't wait to see you next time. See you next week. Same time, same bat channel.
We love you guys.
We love you guys.
See you then.
Bye.